tens of thousands of people here in Boston watching this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Had like the kiss cam kind of thing that goes around that zeroed in on this one couple.
They don't even get caught if they're just both at the concert together. They only get caught because they're openly canoodling at the concert. It betrays a lack of respect for any sort of judgment, but also for a basic value.
I feel like this isn't a good way, and if you're gonna get caught cheating, it shouldn't be like this.
Well, maybe he should have thought of that before he was cheating.
Kiss cam is known for its heartwarming moments, but it caught an awkward one at a Coldplay concert. It zoomed in on a couple cuddling, but internet sleuths were quick to work out why they didn't want to be seen.
Life that makes you a scumbag, let's just start there, full stop. But if you want to be a retarded scumbag, then you can go cheat on your wife at a concert where you're liable to be put on a massive camera in front of everyone.
It started with a joke, just a few casual words from Coldplay's frontman Chris Martin. But by the time the laughter faded, a billion-dollar tech CEO's entire career was on the line. At Fenway Park, under flashing lights and thousands of cheering fans, the kiss cam landed on what looked like a harmless embrace. A man and woman, seated close, sharing what seemed like a quiet moment. But when Chris Martin quipped, either they're having an affair or just really shy, the crowd roared. And in that instant, a ripple turned into a tidal wave. The man? Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, a rising tech firm that built its reputation on ethics, integrity, and zero-tolerance policies.
The moral of the story here is, don't get caught on kiss cam. And the tidbit is, that's not his wife.
Forget the Epstein files. I want to see the text messages of that astronomer CEO that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
If you're gonna have an affair, why would you bring her to a concert in public where everybody can see you? What if you even ran into someone you knew? Who cares about the Jumbotron? What if you ran into someone you knew? Huh?
I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the office.
And this is pretty viral stuff. Or do we have to get HR involved? I know that HR was involved.
The woman next to him, Kristen Kitt, his company's head of HR. That hug was caught on camera for 5 seconds. The fallout? It hasn't stopped in weeks. Within 48 hours, the clip exploded online. Not just memes and jokes, but serious consequences. Suspension, internal investigations, legal threats, and rumors thaw. The entire tech industry whispering. But what really happened that night? Was it just a playful moment taken out of context? Or the public unraveling of a private scandal hiding in plain sight? Because what started on a Jumbotron is now threatening to destroy careers, reputations, and maybe even the company itself. It was supposed to be just another highlight of the night, a lighthearted moment between songs, the kind of thing fans barely remember.
CEO of $1 billion business is in damage control after his affair with a colleague was exposed, of all places, on kiss cam.
Now, a US tech company boss has been suspended. That's after a viral video appeared to show him hugging a woman at a Coldplay concert. Astronomer says that its chief executive, Andy Byron, has been put on leave, although the company stopped short of confirming if he is the one captured in the footage. The video, which appears to show Byron embracing the company's HR director, was shown on a giant screen at the concert in Boston.
But this one didn't fade away. The kiss cam, a staple at major events, drifted across the Fenway Park crowd before landing on a man and woman seated close together. They smiled, leaned in, then instantly froze. The hug felt tight, too tight. And then Chris Martin, never one to miss a chance for crowd banter, added fuel to the moment with one line. Either they're having an affair or just very shy. That's all it took. The camera moved on. Coldplay launched into the next song. But for Andy Byron, the damage was already done.
But apparently, this couple will not be fans of Coldplay for long.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oh, she's talking to her friend. That's her friend.
She whips her back to the camera.
Yeah.
And he actually bends down to get out, like squatting to get out of the sight. Honestly, they should have listened to me. Look, well, he's really hugging her. It's tight.
Yeah, you just lean in. You have to lean in at that point.
Right?
They're both married, not for long.
B wasn't just any couple in the crowd. It was a CEO and his head of HR, on screen, in public, looking like anything but coworkers. And in seconds, their interaction turned from private to viral. Social media pounced. Zoomed in clips, reaction videos, late night jokes. It all hit at once. Coldplay moved on to the next city. Andy, he was stuck in Boston, watching as millions replayed the moment, dissected his body language, and guessed what no one was supposed to know. It was only a few seconds on the Jumbotron, but it opened a door no one was ready to walk through. To understand why that hug caused such chaos.
He did so many things wrong. I mean, the very first thing is, and look, I've never cheated on my wife. I'm not cheating on my wife. I love you, baby. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday.
I'm great. But if I did it, to borrow a phrase from O.J. Simpson, I sure as hell am not going to take my side chick to a stadium with 65,000 strangers.
You need to know who Andy Byron is, or at least who he was supposed to be. Andy wasn't just another guy at a Coldplay concert. He was the CEO of Astronomer, a billion-dollar tech company hailed as one of Silicon Valley's rising stars. Known for developing cutting-edge data tools, Astronomer wasn't just about innovation. It built its brand on ethics, transparency, and accountability. And Andy? He was the face of all of it. Just days before the concert, he'd given an interview bragging about Astronomer's zero-tolerance policy on inappropriate workplace behavior. "We lead by example," he said, "no exceptions." Which is why what happened next hit even harder. Because sitting beside him that night, just inches away, was Kristen Kitt, Astronomer's newly appointed head of HR.
Chris Martin is one of the sweetest guys. I'm a huge Coldplay fan, like really a genuinely sweet guy who's trying to do the world better. He's trying to showcase people having loving moments, and it sure looks like these two are in love, Kim. Very, very confident in such a public space. Yeah. You would think they're a couple, would you not, Kim?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that surprises me about this is how public this is.
I think that the actual star of this story, though, is Chris Martin, who decides, given an opportunity here, to let these people off the hook and just let the camera move along, to suggest explicitly that these people are either having an affair. I mean, seriously? You just throw the fans under the bus who paid their hard-earned money for these tickets?
Well, good call from the lead man there, because it turns out that they were, in fact, probably having an affair.
She'd only been at the company for 9 months. Her role? Enforce the very values Andy had just been preaching. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. A CEO and his top HR exec caught in a too-close moment at a concert broadcast to thousands. While preaching corporate integrity, the contrast was brutal. And for Andy Byron, there was no walking it back. Within hours of the video hitting social media, the internet did what it does best: investigate. And it wasn't just fans laughing. Reddit threads lit up. TikTok sleuths zoomed in frame by frame. Twitter timelines in particular kept resurfacing. The way Kristen suddenly turned away from the camera, and how Andy ducked low, clearly trying to slide out of view. That wasn't just awkward, it looked calculated. Then came the screenshots. "Look at this photo from Astronomer's holiday party," one Redditor posted. "They're sitting too close." Another pointed to Kristen's Instagram from months earlier. A cryptic caption, a blurred figure in the background. People started connecting dots, and fast. Theories ranged from playful speculation to full-blown corporate exposés. But the more people watched, the clearer it seemed. This wasn't the first time Andy and Kristen had looked cozy. And just like that, what started as a 5-second camera clip turned into a full-scale internet investigation. The public wasn't just watching, they were digging, and each new clue made the story messier. While social media laughed, things inside Astronomer got serious fast. Within 48 hours, Andy Byron was placed on leave. Officially, the company said it was unrelated to the video, but no one bought that. The timing was too perfect, and the silence from leadership said more than any press release ever could. Internally, HR was flooded with questions, awkward ones. Employees wanted to know if the company's own policies had been broken, and who was going to investigate the head of HR when she was in the video. Behind closed doors, the board held emergency meetings. Some execs reportedly felt blindsided, while others admitted this wasn't the first time rumors about Andy and Kristen had made the rounds. Investors, once hands-off, started calling daily, wanting answers, demanding damage control. Astronomer had built its brand on trust. Now, that image was crumbling, and the worst part? No one knew how deep this went. If Andy and Kristen were involved, it wasn't just a personal issue. It was a company-wide scandal, one that struck right at the heart of its values. As the internet roasted him and his company, reeled, Andy Byron didn't apologize. He lawyered up. Multiple sources claimed Andy was exploring legal action against none other than Chris Martin himself. His argument? That Coldplay's frontman had crossed a line, that the joke, while off the cuff, turned a private moment into a global humiliation, and that no one had warned him he could be filmed at the concert. The reaction online was instant and brutal. Critics mocked him for being too soft to survive a meme, while others joked that he was the first CEO to declare war on Coldplay. But Andy wasn't backing down. Behind the scenes, his legal team reportedly started building a case, digging into concert policies, video rights, and even stadium footage. Andy was serious and angry, but as the lawyers dug deeper, a bigger question began to emerge. Did he even have a case? Because as it turns out, Coldplay's team wasn't caught off guard. They were ready. And Andy's fight? It was about to hit a wall. Andy Byron's legal team may have fired up, but Coldplay's side, calm, collected, and fully protected. According to insiders familiar with Fenway Park's concert operations, every attendee walks past a clear disclaimer at the entrance. Guests may be filmed, and footage may be used publicly. It's not hidden in fine print. It's standard policy and legally ironclad. Chris Martin's comment, while cheeky, was also protected. It fell under artistic expression, made in the context of a live performance. There was no defamation, no targeted attack, just a joke in front of thousands. Sources close to the band said Martin wasn't even fazed. He reportedly joked behind the scenes that it was just another night on tour. His team had checked every box, from legal waivers to media guidelines. There was nothing to sue for. Andy's argument that he should have been warned, dead on arrival. His legal team, after reviewing the footage, worse. But if Coldplay was off the hook, Astronomer wasn't. And with no legal path forward, Andy turned his attention back to the one place still under his control, or so he thought. With legal options off the table and the scandal refusing to fade, Astronomer's internal stability started to crack. Board members grew restless. Some demanded Andy's resignation outright, while others worried about the optics of forcing out a CEO without a formal investigation. Meanwhile, Kristen Kitt, once seen as a rising leader, vanished from the company's Slack. Her LinkedIn page suddenly went dark. Inside the company, morale was unraveling. Employees whispered about favoritism, power imbalances, and who knew what before the video went viral. Some questioned how long the rumored relationship had been going on, and whether anyone had covered it up. Investors weren't quiet either. Several major backers reportedly paused funding discussions. One even pulled out entirely, citing concerns over executive conduct. To make matters worse, journalists started digging. Anonymous employees leaked internal emails. One message hinted that the relationship had been flagged months ago, but brushed aside. Suddenly, it wasn't just about a concert moment. It was about a culture that may have looked the other way. And Andy? He was no longer just a CEO under fire. He was a symbol of everything the company promised not to be. Just when it seemed like the story had peaked, a surprising twist flipped everything on its head. An anonymous post surfaced on a tech forum claiming the Coldplay moment wasn't spontaneous at all, that Andy and Kristen had planned to sit together, knowing the kiss cam often targets VIP sections. The post even alleged this wasn't their first public moment, just the first one caught on camera. But here's where it got wild. The source claimed Kristen had previously worked for a Coldplay tour vendor and used that connection to get those specific seats. If true, it suggested the hug wasn't an accident. It was a calculated risk. Suddenly, people weren't asking if Andy got caught. They were wondering if he wanted to be caught. And whether that's true or not, one thing was clear. This story wasn't just about a scandal. It was about control, exposure, and a calculated gamble that went terribly wrong. Weeks later, the dust still hasn't settled. Andy Byron remains on leave. Kristen Kitt hasn't returned. An astronomer's future hangs in the balance. What started as a blink and you'll miss it moment on a kiss cam has unraveled into something bigger. A story about blurred lines, public image, and the price of being exposed at the wrong time, in the wrong way. Coldplay moved on. The internet found a new headline. But for Andy and Kristen, the consequences are just beginning. And the wildest part? No one's even sure if the real truth has come out yet, because in the world of tech power plays and corporate secrets, sometimes the loudest fallout comes from what isn't.